There are 13 energy centers in and outside of your body, below your feet and above your head. They're called your chakras. Your chakras govern your reality. They make your life happen. They're fueled by your subconscious thoughts, your life force, your action, sexual energy that exists in all of us, creating from the vibration that flows within us. Constant, consistent creation, directed by the choices that we make. You have the right to be who you're supposed to be, so what's it gonna be? You are the master of your vibration. Feed your mind for elevation. There is no time for contemplation. The time is now. So what's it gonna be?
We give thanks. We give thanks. We give thanks to the Most High, known by many names. We give thanks for this sacred space. We give thanks for this divine time, this grand time that we are living in, the grand rising of the matriarch. We are so grateful for all things as they are continually unfolding. We ask that you open our eyes to see, open our ears to hear, open our hearts and minds to receive the truth as it is, unchanging. We give thanks to the 4 seasons. We give thanks to the 4 directions, which encompass everything that is at the center, everything that is within, everything that is without. We ask that all of our people be held in a hedge of fiery protection. We ask that no hurt or harm come to those that are dear to us, those that are near to us, those that are far from us. We give thanks, we give thanks, we give thanks. May we continuously sit in the seat of gratitude, regardless of any situation or circumstance. May we continuously give thanks. Ashe, Amen-Ra, Ma'at. Queen Mother, our Minister, Iya, are you there with us?
Yes, I am.
Give thanks.
Thanks and gratitude. I give thanks and gratitude and gratefulness. I sit in the seat of absolute gratitude, gratefulness, and thankfulness. I give thanks and gratitude to all those who tuned in, who wanted to tune in to the energetic vibrational frequency of the grand rising of the matriarch. I pay homage to my esteemed and virtuous and righteous ancestors. I pay homage to all those known and unknown, sung and unsung. I pay homage to all those who stood and wanted to stand and held space for those who fought for freedom and refused to bow down to someone who wasn't worthy. I pay homage to those who was on the ships and saw the vision of what would befall them and refused to lay down in the deep, dark, water waters. I pay homage I ask that for all of my ego, all my ancestors who played a part in the Ma'afa, I ask for forgiveness for them. And either they, whatever role they played, be a handler, whatever role that was played in my bloodline, into Ma'afa, I ask for forgiveness. I ask for forgiveness for hurt, who all my ancestors who brought hurt and harm, intentionally, unintentionally. I ask for forgiveness. I thank you, Ego, for being the fence around us, our first line of defense. I thank you for watching over us, keeping us all from safe and hurt and harm. We ask for your continued bountifulness, your continued blissfulness. You can see, you can go, you know. Your wisdom is unknown. There's nothing that you wouldn't do for your children. We will continue to speak again. We will continue to pour the water. We will continue to call your name 3 times. We will continue to offer offerings to you. And we will continue to talk about you so we can keep you alive. And we will continue your legacy. We will continue to find the gifts. We will continue to honor the bloodline. We will continue to unfold the bloodline for each generation. And we thank you, we honor you, we adore you. And we ask that you watch over our children to protect them. We watch over the daughters to protect them. We watch over the sons to protect them. Restore the lands back to the rightful owner. Restore our families back. We thank you, the divine matriarch. Thank you for your love, your power, your existence. And we ask that you watch over us. Ashe, Amala, Mayat, Cho, Cho, Cho.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for that vibrational frequency, that word sound offering. So powerful. We give thanks to everyone tuning in with us tonight, the grand rising of the matriarch. I am Minister Ready, Sakira, I am here with the Queen Mother, Ia, Minister im-ojyemi of Queen Mother's Ancestral Palace Ministries. I am also here with Minister SEG13, Center of Self-Mastery Ministries. Give thanks, give thanks, give thanks. Last week's service, we went into receiving and giving. And we more so touched on a lot of the spiritual things. And we feel the need to go deeper. There's more to be said there. And we're looking forward to how this is going to unfold this evening. Receiving and giving. How does that have to do, what does that have to do with serving?
When you serve, you're giving something. You're providing something so you can spiritually serve, or you go one of our there's it's called what they call postal workers, or they're called service workers. They provide a service. So we're gonna spiritually, when you spiritually come out and you do your medicine, you're providing a service.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're providing that service, you're giving of yourself. The nurses, the doctors, that's a service. They're giving of themselves. Now, what's the reason that you're providing the service? Are you doing it because you love what you're doing? Are you doing it for the money? So a service is you're giving of yourself. You're giving something. Emitting, giving, emitting. So when you're doing your service medicine, you're giving something and someone is receiving something from you. You made a statement last week, Minister Reddy, where you said, well, people can't be mad if they're giving out, they up all turned up and they're not giving out loving vibrations and they don't receive loving vibrations in return. Well, once again, everything you do is a service. Now, you might not be aware of that, but everything you do is a service. You're giving something. If, once again, the kind word, the smile, is all a part of a service. Now, you might not see that, but the big picture says that I'm providing a service. I'm giving of myself. And anytime you give of yourself, that's a service. So we've been taught the services when you go to a building and you're sitting with a group of people. That's a service too. But isn't there an energetic exchange? So giving and receiving is an energetic exchange. So service is an energetic exchange with the giving and the receiving. So when I serve, also, I don't, not this podcast, but you talked about when you like to cook and you like to serve meals and how you like to, fix everybody else's plate, looking good, but yours don't look good. So what is about you that you don't think that you provide a service to you? Who is the first person you serve? You serve yourself first. And therefore you can serve others. I don't eat on paper plates. I don't drink out of paper cups. I don't use paper forks. My service to me is I'm worthy. I deserve the best. So I eat off of plates. I drink out of glasses, mason jars, really. It's a better jar. And I use silverware. So when you start serving yourself and you value your worth, then you're ready to serve others in a value. Have you ever went to a restaurant and you've had this amazing waitress or waiter and they just served and you could feel their share and you could feel their energy and they were doing it out of love?
Yes. You can definitely feel the difference.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime you do something for someone, you're doing a service to them. You're serving. So serving is another way of giving and receiving. When you serve yourself, do you receive it? So often we don't serve ourselves. We serve everybody around us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I was just going to flip that because the whole part of me creating a plate for everyone else and just making my plate, just throwing it together. As much as you are willing to serve, you at some point the receiving end, you also have to be willing to receive, and not only from other people, but the service to yourself, the taking care of yourself, the putting yourself first. I think we mentioned one time when you're on the airplane and the oxygen mask go, they tell you to put yours on first.
Mm-hmm.
So the first survival or sustainable rule, or I can't remember what it's called, but it's to sustain self. You have to sustain self. You can't take care of anybody who's self-destructing.
I think that it would say self-preservation is the first law of nature.
There we go. Yes. That's what I was looking for. That's it. Self-preservation is the first law of nature.
The first law of nature. And we learn from an early age of the giving and receiving. It starts in the womb. Everything starts in the womb. Not in your mother's womb, your grandmother's womb, your great-great-grandmother, your great-great. It's generations back of wombs. And not only in the bloodline, but just wombs past, since the beginning of time. All those wombs have served, have given, have received. Continue. Because life is continual. It doesn't end. And even when we decide to leave the planet, life still continues. It's continual. So as well as love being the highest source service, because everything you do is a service. You can do it in love, or you can do it begrudgingly. But it's going to show however you choose to do it. It's going to show up. And how you choose to emit it, or serve, or give, and receive is how people are going to receive it. Now, does that mean that everybody's going to receive you with open arms? No. Why would they bother you? When you're truly working from your heart, when you're truly rooted, goes back to being rooted, values, worth, radiator, erector, generator, creator, the synchronicity could become one. And then that energy flows from your heart. Brother Panic talks about being in the heart all the time. That's the center. Because you have the lower three chakras, and then you have the upper chakras. But everything meets in the middle. As NDRE says, come back to the middle. Come back to the center. Well, the heart is the center.
Right, the bridge.
In order to stay there, you have to make sure that you serve yourself. Serving yourself means going in and look at those traumas and dramas if you so choose to. You don't have to.
Right.
That's your choice.
It's always a choice.
But the first person you have a relationship besides your mother is yourself. The mother determines the relationship you have with everybody, and then the relationship you have with yourself determines the relationship you have with everybody else. We were never taught to really serve as children. Then some of us were taught, so I can't say that, but the service starts with self. And we talked about how you see yourself in our on Wusa Wednesday, perception.
Yeah, I thought about Wusa Wednesday when you brought up self-preservation is the first law of nature. I thought about Minister Solution 13 was emphasizing nature. We don't follow nature. We've gotten so far away from nature. Nature, the natural order of things. And I have a question for clarity. Did you say that love was the highest form of service?
Well, love is the highest vibration. Service is the next. But if you're serving and you're not serving out of love, then why are you really serving? Well, the nurse. Does the nurse do it for the love of nursing, or does she do it for the love of the money? We talked about the herbalist. Does the herbalist do it for the love of the herbs? Does she do it because she provides a service? What is the reason or for why we do the things that we do?
The intention.
Is it innate in our bloodline? Is it because it's a part of our bloodline? Is it innate that one of our ancestors did it and now that our share has been passed down to us?
Mm-hmm.
Did our bloodline serve? No matter whether they served in the army, what part of the service that they provide? Because that's truly going into that bloodline to find out the gifts that we come. We all are part of the puzzle. We all have a piece. We all have a gift. We all have a virtue that we serve, that we bring to a divine plan. That's why we all need each other.
So we're all part of the divine plan, pieces of the puzzle, intertwining, interconnected into each other's lives through our conscious, through our subconscious, through our environment, through everything.
Did we all not come from the same womb? We all were birthed the same way, right?
Right.
So that means, how could we not be? Each bloodline has a gift. Each bloodline served in some way. So your bloodline has a gift that is to forgive and to receive. Now, going in that bloodline to find out what that gift is where you begin to go into meditation and you begin to talk to your ancestors to find out what service did they provide, what gift did they leave you, what legacy.
Mm-hmm.
So it comes back to the giving and the receiving. But we all are part, we all carry a gift in this great divine plan. Mm-hmm. When the mother rose up out of the primordial waters, she rose up out the womb.
Mm-hmm.
And she spread herself wide. And she gave her children, she spread them out. To go forth, to be fruitful, and to multiply.
Right.
And that's a part of the giving, the serving, and receiving. The emitting. The receptor. We either can be super conductive or we can be super receptive. Giving and receiving.
Right. That's the electricity. When you said those words, it reminds me of electricity. And it's something I want to touch on with the receiving and the giving. We're given these gifts through our bloodline, and it's important to go to our ancestors and find out things about our ancestors so we can have an idea to what gifts we were given. But when it comes to the receiving, and some of us receive gifts and because it's been looked down upon or it's been demonized or looked at as given a negative connotation, many shut their gifts down or ask them to go away because they think it's a bad thing. How do people, what's some advice or suggestions more so to receiving those gifts and not being scared? Like some people have a gift of hearing or prophesying or get visions in their dreams, or they can see, different spirits. They can see past the third dimension, things of that nature. But they tend to be fearful because they don't understand their gifts. How do they go about receiving that which is given to them in that through the bloodline?
Well, first of all, take the fear away.
Okay, that's the first part.
How
Take
can
the
you
fear
not?
away. It's
How
nothing to
can
be
you
scared of.
give anything? Right? How can you give anything or receive anything if you're in fear of not having enough, of not being enough, of fear of it? If you're in fear of it, you can't ever receive it. You can't open up to it. You can't give it. So first of all, find out where the fear came from. Why am I fearful of this? What is there to fear? That's the first thing. And then you go in that root chakra, because where's the fear located at?
In the root, 0 to 7.
So it goes back into that internal medicine. You have to go inward to see where everything comes from. And it stems from your mother's womb, her fears, whatever her fears were, you're going to have those fears, whatever fears that you've been programmed. But if you don't know your story, then you'll fall for the European mysteries. It goes back to Dr. Wade Noble. He said, if you don't know your story, you're going to keep falling for the European mysteries. Sure, who told us that our ancestors was bad? Who told us that those gifts? Who gave us that?
The European mysteries.
And some of us in our bloodline, we've been known to kind of, harp on somebody, or, if you ain't in the church, if you ain't prophesied, so we do it to each other too.
Yeah, true.
So we have to be bold enough, breaking those old limiting demarcations of our mind, bold enough to say, you know what, this is who I am. This is what I know to be true. And stand with that and be bold enough, have courage and strength and wisdom enough to say, this came to me. Test the spirit by the spirit. If the spirit world brought you something, see what it does. Use it. The spirit can talk through anything and anybody. It don't have to be a voice. It could be written on a piece of paper. When you're truly meant to know something, the motherverse is going to make sure you get what you need. Because when the motherverse hears her child's voice, she's going to respond to that voice of her child. But are we open or closed to the voice of the motherverse? We've been told that it's going to be this big pie in the sky, or it's going to be this big. That's not how the motherverse runs. She runs off of knowing. She runs off of feeling. She runs totally different. Sometimes it's a knowing. Sometimes it's a feeling. Sometimes it's a seeing. Sometimes it's all of them. It's the dreams. We want to call it prophecy, because that's what we know it as. Because that was the word that was given to us.
What about visions?
Oracles and oraculums.
Oracles. Okay. This is just a quick side note, because we say the motherverse, and we use the word matriarch. This is the grand rising of the matriarch, and we speak on the mother. We speak on the primordial waters that birth everything. And I really even as a child, I had a hard time wrapping it around my head that it was just, Father God. You spoke of something in the sky that, people feel like there's an actual male being resting in the clouds, I guess, if you will, or in another space in time or whatever. But the mother is the birth of creation, and it just makes sense that there is a mother involved, which is the matriarch, which is, yes, the beginning of everything. I just had a a side note, sidebar I wanted to add in there with that. That's a whole nother show. Receiving and
everything
giving.
starts with the mother. She's the first teacher. She's the first everything. And no offense to who can't get with that. And whether you can or whether you can't, the energy is here. And it's being restored back to the rightful owners. So everybody cannot, will not be a part of the mothers. So if you are a daughter or a son of the mothers, you'll know. Trust me, you'll know. And it's going to show. It'll show by your conversation. It'll show by it will show by your movement. And that doesn't mean that one is more powerful than the next, but the ashe of the mothers has always been the ashe to heal, to lead, to birth, to nurture, to love in a ferocious way.
Mm-hmm. Even protect.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But knowing your role in this mother rising, in this grand matriarch of the rising, in the mother verse. What gifts did you bring to be a part of the mother verse? What gifts? And we all connect together. Everything is a design. But we're here to break that mold. We're here to become bold, breaking those old limited demarcations of our mind.
Mm-hmm.
And we do that step by step. It's a journey. It's a process. We go back. I talk of the story of the tortoise and the hare. Slow and steady. There's no such thing as time. Time doesn't even exist. Everything is about space and the sacredness of that space. Do we know the sacredness of giving? Do we know the sacredness of receiving? Do we know the sacredness of service? Do we know the sacredness of courage? Do we know the sacredness of joy? The sacredness of harmony? Do we know the sacredness of anything? Because everything carries a sacredness.
Everything is
we
sacred.
were born sacred and divine. But if we don't know the sacredness of being divine, if we don't know the sacredness of who we are, the etymology of a word is very important. We talk about word sounds and word spells, but if you don't look up the word that you're using, then you could be casting a spell on yourself and someone else.
Mm-hmm.
Sacredness, devotion, sacerdotal, all those words carry a meaning, set and apart to provide. Giving can be a devotion. Some people love to give. They keep giving and giving. It's like the ever-flowing fountain. Mm-hmm. With no thought of receiving. But as truly as you're born, as truly as you give, the door of receiving is going to be open. It's the receptor. The universe has no other choice. The motherverse has no other choice but to respond to how her children are serving and giving and receiving. So the motherverse is going to respond to how we respond.
We talked about having a full understanding of the meaning or the root of the words we're using and words being used. We already know words, spelling, words, the words we use, cast, spells, if you will. Do you think that some of the reason why we may not be getting, or people may pray for something or meditate on something that they want, or do you think that has something to do with not using the right words? It kind of going in the circle.
Maybe you're not meant to have that. Or maybe you're not meant to have that. Maybe you aborted that. Maybe you didn't come to full, maybe you didn't nurture it. Maybe you didn't bring it to full term. Maybe that's not what you're supposed to have. Maybe you're supposed to have something different. But how do you receive that when you pray for something and you don't get what you prayed for?
Mm-hmm.
How do you receive that? So this is the two things I see how people, the dispensations I see our people in. We either praying for something or we're praying to get rid of something. So we'll start with a brother because, everybody can relate to this. How many sisters have you seen praying for a man? And then when they get the man, they really don't want the man. Praying for a job. And then they get the job and they ain't like the job. Praying for a house. And then when they get it or whatever, they don't even really like what they got.
They want something different.
So what I'm saying is, you have to know exactly what it is that you want. And maybe, just like the person prays for all the money. Oh, I want to hit the lottery. Maybe the universe is saying that the reason you have not hit the lottery or the reason you have not received all this money is, do you have an infinite consciousness? How do you see money? How do you view money? How do you handle money? What do you think about it? Do you share it? Are you a hoarder? So you got to look at all these things. Do you have you talked about the poverty consciousness. So the poverty consciousness is not only about money, it's your thoughts, it's your words, it's how you see life. If you see life as being hard, tired, miserable, lonely, all of that is a part of the consciousness of what you're going to bring about. So we go back to the person who's praying for this money and have not received it. Well, maybe I need to look at some things. Do I have the consciousness for it? Do I go? Okay, so if I don't have the consciousness for money, then I need to surround myself with people who have money. I need to be around where money is. I mean, going to the expensive stores and walking through and touching and feeling things. I need to get the taste for money. I need to get the feeling for money. I need to get in that money vibration. We're going to say money, but, currency, same thing. We need to get in that vibration. We need to feel that. We need to feel like we're infinite. We need to feel like that this is who we are. So we take our mind from that, what we don't see, and we place it on what we see. Some people call it the vision board. Well, why do you need a board? Why, your vision not good enough? Well, so if you need the board, use the board.
Gunshot.
You know exactly what it is that you want. But if you prayed the prayer and you haven't nurtured it, you say, okay, God, I want you to give me a job. Did you start looking? Do you know what kind of job you want? What do you love? What do you want? What's really your passion? And if you're following your passion, then the motherverse is going to open up the door wide. And everything and everyone is going to come and help you achieve your passion, your purpose, your destiny. But if you keep praying to something outside yourself, you'll never get it. Brother Reverend Ike says, I pray to the God in me. So if you pray into something outside of yourself because it doesn't exist, so where's the Most High for you? Where's the motherverse for you? Because if it's not in, but it don't exist.
Everything without exists within.
Everything. You know, we talked about the computer the last podcast. Do you know that's designed off our bodies? Our
Right.
bodies
We
are
said the
so
motherboard.
intelligent. I'm like this system that we're in is so intelligent. It has to be divine. It has to be sacred because it's too intelligent not to be. It's too powerful not to be. But if you can't tap into that, if you can't go in that root chakra and root yourself in there to see what you need to see, and you can't see the creativity, you can't taste, touch, and smell, and see the vision. And if you can't sink it, become one with it, wrap your emotions around it and nurture it, and bring it to the heart to magnify it. And we talk about the perception, the first eye. Well, by the time when you get to the heart and you magnify, the vision is at the first eye. But there's more than one eye in this body.
Mm-hmm.
The way you find yourself is through the silence, through the darkness. And everybody gonna say, "Oh, I'm the light." Before you can have the light, you must have the darkness. And when you're dealing with the light, which is only the information, it's the patriarch energy. When you're dealing with the darkness, the people like to call it the negative ions. I like to call it the ions. You're dealing with the mother. She's the one that charges the battery. She's the one that gets things started. She gives of herself continually. Doesn't our nature give of herself? Doesn't our nature receive of herself? First of all, the death is when the flowers start blooming. That's the death process.
Wait a minute, we got to say it again. The death process with the flowers,
when the flowers
when it
burst up out the
blooming.
ground. That's truly the death process.
You
know, have you ever heard the saying when you should cry when someone is born and you should laugh when someone leaves this planet?
Yes, I've heard that.
Well, the true conception is never when you come through the canal. The true conception is when you are in the mother's womb. That's the true conception. That's your true born day. That's your true earth day. The day you were born is something that's a bill of goods. Because when you go to the doctor says, well, when was your conception date? It means when was the seed placed inside you? When did the sperm and the egg become one?
That makes sense.
Once again,
that's the first birth.
The giving and the receiving.
So we spoke about giving and receiving more so in a spiritual context. And we actually touched on it in the physical as far as people praying and wanting things and maybe it not coming to them because it's not meant for them or maybe they don't have the consciousness for that.
Or maybe they have to wait. It's that going back to that the birth thing. When you are conceived, you don't come to this planet until how long later?
9 months, sometimes a little early, sometimes a little later.
Yeah. But the conception process is really longer than the 9 months, isn't it?
Right. Because I have read 12 months in Dr. Gross's book.
So, yes, once again, whose story are we following? And a lot of times okay, so once again, when the universe gives you an idea, the motherverse gives you an idea, the ancestors give you an idea, and your creativity is flowing with ideas, trust me, it's going to come to pass because it was a gift given to you. Now, when you want something or you desire something, see where that's coming from. Now, are you desiring it because you saw it on TV, or are you desiring it because somebody else has it? So your desires and your wants, because your needs are always met. If you are truly following your creative process, the rooting, the thinking, the magnifying, the tasting, and your including your 6 senses in it, that's going to come to pass. But if you want something that someone else has, what is that? If you want something because you've seen it, what's that? So it goes back to the passion. So I always say, go back to where did this come from? Is this something that I truly want? Is this something I truly desire? The house, the car, where's all this coming from? Because my sister friend had a brother and they were all educated beings. Now, she was the only one that was spiritual, but they were all educated. It was 4 of them. They were all educated. And one of her brothers was a principal, but for some reason he ended up being homeless. Do you know, she said that he told her that was the best time in his life when he was homeless, how people treated him, how people, reacted to him when he was a principal and all that. So you see, sometimes we choose for our life to be a certain way. So when you see something, you have to make sure you understand, did this person choose it? Is this person's karma in this incarnation? So when praying for someone, you have to make sure you pray in the righteous prayer. Because if you pray in one way, because prayer is giving and prayer is receiving. So if you pray in a prayer for, Sally Sue bring her a husband. Well, did Sally Sue tell you to pray for her husband? How you know Sally Sue's supposed to have a husband? I mean, seriously though, prayer is another way of giving and receiving. So when people ask me to pray, what do you want me to pray for? So when I'm doing my medicine for people and if something is going on with them, I send love. I send love. And I ask, if I have to say something, Mother Verse, bring them the greatest or their highest good. Because I don't want to mess up. My thing is not to intercede anybody's karma or take on anybody's karmic loop. I have enough karma on my own without having to transcend or step into somebody else's karma, even my children. So prayer is another way of giving and receiving. Meditation, giving and receiving.
Yes. I Minister SCG 13 says it's a powerful thing to send love, LOVE, only if you mean it. I made an acronym out of the word love, level of vibrational energy.
Oh, sure.
Because I feel that is I actually learned that from one of my first teachers. I have to accredit her to that. She was the first person that said that to me, and I just kept using it because I never heard anybody say it like that before. Level of vibrational energy, love.
And you can tell when someone truly loves you. The energy is going to speak for itself. And that's what I tell everybody. You don't have to say you belong to whoop-de-doop. You don't have to say whoop-de-doop is in you. The energy is going to go before you. And it's going to show everybody exactly who you are. So it goes back to the giving and the receiving. First of all, you can't send love if you ain't love. If you don't love yourself, you can't give what you ain't got. As you said in the last podcast, you can't pour from an empty cup. But for me, I had to practice to love myself. I have to, and every day it's an unfoldment. Am I totally in love with myself? I'm not going to lie and tell and say I am. Because each day unfolds is each day I get a chance to love myself more. What I love about this, the motherverse, each day, each dawning brings a new opportunity for me to create a better me. If I fail, I can start all over again. That's what I love about the most. I'm not here to condemn. I'm not here to hurt. I'm not here to harm. I'm not here for all of that. Because each dawning creates an opportunity for you to be a better you. Les Brown, there's a better best than the one I now express. And even then, there's still a better best. We all have the opportunity for redemption. We all have the opportunity to no longer be that person we were 2 seconds ago. Through the door of giving, prayer, receiving, emitting, superconductive, superreceptive. But you can truly know when someone is being real with you. You don't even have to, baby, you can only fake the funk for so long. What's that song say? I see your true colors shining through. And children are the most receptive beings on the planet. Children accept people for who they are until if your heart ain't in the right place, the child is going to show you exactly. They don't bother with you. But I say this, when you are truly in tune, you truly know who you are, the womb versations, the root, that first eye is going to start, and you're going to say, something about the energy of this being that stands before me. I don't know what it is, but there's something here. So when people tell me, oh, they got, well, guess what? There's a piece of karma here, but also, did you pay attention to the person? Did you ask, who is this that stands before me? What is the karma between me and this person? What do I need to see? And did you start giving and did you start receiving? So often, everything is a relationship. You have a relationship with your house, you have a relationship with your car. Everything is a relationship that gives and receives. Everything gives, everything receives. Can't get around it.
Yes, it's unavoidable. It's
perfect. Yes. Perfect example.
Yes.
When something happens in my family, I don't ask people to pray. I do it on my own. But this particular time, the universe said, well, you have to open up and allow other people, give other people the opportunity to help serve. And I did. I sent out a prayer. And I asked people to pray for my family. And I don't normally do that. But I opened my mind. I opened my heart. To for service.
Mm-hmm.
So I moved myself out the way. And I was rooted enough, synced enough, magnified enough because I wanted to feel the Ashe. I wanted other people's Ashe. Especially if we call ourselves family, we stepping together. So I said, okay, I'm going to call forth the prayer warrior. I'm going to call forth the people that love me and that I love. The giving and the receiving.
Yes.
That's intimacy.
On a whole nother level. Yes, it is an honor to give and an honor to receive. I'm so grateful that you opened yourself up to receive that magnifying collective energy to heal the situation. Honors to you, honors to your ancestors. It seems like we still, I don't know, we might be coming back and talking about a little more receiving and giving. It might be a part 3.
I'm quite sure it probably will be.
It may be the coming next Friday, it may be the one after that. Who knows? We just go with the flow. We allow spirit to move us, and we give thanks for this sacred space. Willfully, this space is sacred to you. It is an open and safe space for you to come. We are holding sacred space for all of our eye ministers. We're holding sacred space for all of our friends and family and all of those we are interconnected to, which is everybody and everything. As we spoke on tonight, everyone is sacred. Everything is sacred. Everything that is without is within. Everything. The grand rising of the matriarch. We give thanks. We give thanks. We give thanks. Please check us out at mastervibration13.com. Click on the link to read our vision. We have some big things going on. We're on tour. That's right. We're on tour. You can get ready for our band. We're going to be doing some musical tours, private shows, uplifting, healing, rah, rah, rah. Bringing the fire. Yes. Check us out, Cash App, SEG13 Love. Share whatever is on your heart to share. May it come back unto you tenfold.
Let's not forget about Woosah Wednesday.
Yes, tune in to Woosah Wednesday. You can get your special private seats. Connect with us for that. Woosah Wednesday. Woosah.
Every tune that comes through me brings balance to my beat. I have the power to change the direction in me through sound. I have the power to change the direction in me through my mind. I am creation. I am animation. I am rise, vibrant star in all of the constellations. I am zip, pepper, zest, sponge, bounce, moxie, mojo, whatever you call it.
Hold this. Hold this